and welcome to the Zotefoams Centenary Foam Awards. It's been a pleasure to be on the judging panel. On behalf of my fellow judges and myself, I really want to thank all the entrants for the variety, the ingenuity, the eye-opening experiences we've had looking at a massively varied set of applications for Zotefoams material. Some themes running through there: lightweighting, energy saving, very good sustainability agenda, examples of what you can do with the lightweight materials, and in particular some really picking up on the unique attributes of Zotefoams material, both in the polyolefin AZOTE family and in our ZOTEK HPP business. I'm particularly impressed by the longevity award. Some foam applications been out there almost as long as I have, which is gratifying to see. It's not just a make a quick buck and move on business. So, as I said, thank you so much to the entrants, the applicants. If you're one of those, my appreciation to you. If you're watching just as a curious observer, I hope you've been, or you will be, inspired by some of this. And I'm now going to pass over to Rob Shimmin, who is comparing the results. Thank you.
Well, thank you, David, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are glued to your screens watching this awards ceremony today. You are welcome. We're delighted to have you with us. As David said, my name is Rob Shimmin. It's my pleasure to compare today, and I've been working with Zotefoam for some time, looking at some of the messaging around the products that we're going to be talking about today, and it's been such a pleasure to see them come alive in terms of applications out in the field. And as David said, we've got an amazing set of entries for you to have a look at today. I must remind you that the reason we're doing this is it's 100 years that Zotefoams has celebrated its three-stage expansion process, and this is our Centenary Awards, and naturally therefore it is our first awards, and we do feel that it's been worth the wait in terms of the quality of those awards. Look, everyone loves an award. It's a great opportunity to get together with industry friends, to pour a little bit too much wine, to dance badly. None of those things are as easy this time around simply because of COVID, but we very much hope that next time we'll be able to do this in person. Couple of quick housekeeping issues. Number one is we're going to keep your microphones muted and your cameras off, but if you have a question, and we really encourage you to ask one, in the bottom right hand corner of your screen you'll see a box available for that, and anything from a technical issue through to the meaning of life itself, we'll do our absolute best to give you the best quality answer that we can. One of the things that has been a pleasure in terms of looking at the range of entries has been the incredible multitude of industries and geographies in which these applications are playing out. We're seeing industries like transportation, be it rail, road or air. We're seeing food and beverage coming through. We're seeing human comfort. We're seeing the world of medical, all linked together by the attributes of some of these products. So we're talking about lightness, we're talking about safety, we're talking about cleanliness, strength, durability, and of course insulation, and the power of those to really deliver solutions. And in terms of those solutions, the judges have looked very, very closely at the Zotefoams mission statements, which is to talk about optimal material solutions for the benefit of society. And that's what's driven a lot of their decisions. And the people who've made those decisions are our judges. I'll let you know who they are now. Carl Hewson is our technical expert. He brings the lens of technical prowess developed over many years, and he can understand what's difficult and what's been achieved there. Terry Bryant understands customers extraordinarily well, and he knows some of the currents that you may be swimming against internally in terms of the balance of performance, cost, durability, all of the issues that customers are really focused on in terms of their decision-making process. Stuart Roberts, a really, really strong long-termer who's been around in the industry a long time, and he has a great understanding of some of the bigger picture issues that you may face. And then probably the biggest picture of all of them is our fourth judge, David Sterling, again, who's been in the industry a great many years. So it's a wonderful opportunity now to just hear a little bit from them in terms of the process that they've been through to arrive at our winners today. Over to you guys.
There were two things that really struck out to me as part of the judging process. One was the quality of the entries and the diversity of the applications. The quality was, I was very impressed by the ingenuity of the fabricators of the various entries. The level of quality from the design to the final production was very high. The ability to match a raw material to a production methodology was very, very impressive. As far as diversity, the attraction of this industry is taking the ability to take some form of foam and applying it to a multitude of industries and marketplaces. This was very evident as all the entries covered a variety of industries and showed a lot of ingenuity in applying that foam to that marketplace. The judging process was both thorough and very open. Everybody was able to express their views, and in a lot of cases brought key points to the group to get a better understanding of the entries, and I thought that the contribution by everyone was very, very high.
Wow, we've had a great afternoon judging the award ceremony. It's a fantastic application, a whole number of different applications shown, and even with my 45 years in the foam industry, I've learned a lot today of how the foam can be used in different areas. So some great solutions, great sustainability stories, and certainly being at Zotefoams, they have some fantastic products offering.
Okay, let's get straight into it. Our first category today is the most innovative product. Now, this is a category where we really celebrate some strong original thinking and creativity to bring solutions that really require a high performance material. And let's have a look at some of the entries that we've had. Well, we promised you innovation and creativity in abundance, and I think you can see that with the quality of those entries. Now listen, before we get to the winner, it's really important that we give two very special mentions to two great companies. The first is Norseman for their traction boot, and this is very relevant to me because my youngest of three daughters broke her ankle recently, came home with the boot. And what the Norseman traction boot does is combine rigidity with softness, cleanliness, and also the best environment for that ankle to heal or for that injury to heal. Second mention goes to Kuehl. They have a fantastic product called the Stitch Smith Clutch Bag. Again, relevant to my daughters, I would guess, because it gives you the opportunity to change the fabric on the outside of the bag, and that is done again, made possible through foams from Zotefoams. So before we find out who the winner is, I want to bring on Charlotte Griffiths for a second. Come on in, Charlotte. Charlotte is going to give me the awards tonight, but she's done a huge amount of work in terms of the admin for all of this and pulling all of the entries together. So we thank you immensely for that, Charlotte. Thank you. Okay. Right, so who's won the most innovative product category? And I am delighted to say it is Technifab for flexible ECS ducts. Technifab, with this solution, have really taken to heart the challenge of ensuring that materials that go into aircraft are as light as they possibly can be. So when you next reach up to turn the air on in the aircraft that you're travelling within, it is highly likely that that air has come to you through a flexible ECS duct from Technifab. And we've got a great opportunity now to have a quick chat with our winner. So let's do that. Great, we've got Bruce Whitman on the line from Technifab. Bruce, many congratulations on winning the most innovative category with Flex Hose. Could you tell me just a little bit about the product, please?
Well, yes, it's actually probably the favorite product of all the Technifab people. It utilizes all the great properties of the foam, and there's hundreds of them in the airplane, and it's been flying for 15 years now, and now it's migrated to space capsules. So it's got some great properties, great use of the foam, and it's just a perfect product.
Wonderful. So if you reach up in an aircraft, there's a pretty good chance that that air is coming to you through a flex hose duct. Can you tell me a little bit about the challenges around lightness and, for example, fire retardation in terms of requirement for the material?
Well, lightweight is so important. Gravity's one thing that's always going to be there. We all know if you pick something up that's heavy, it takes a lot more work. So every part that goes in the airplane, it's fundamental that we get it lightweight. And when we had the opportunity with the Zotefoam material that was 1/40th the weight of plastic, we had a great building block. So what we were able to do is construct a part and maintain that purity of that PVDF, and boy, it just came out half the weight of the current products and was accepted so readily by the aerospace industry. And of course, if it's in an airplane, it can't burn. And again, the beauty of the PVDF foam, it's inherently flame resistant. You don't have to have any workarounds, you just use it, and it's the right stuff.
Great, and I think if you ever take those casings off in the aircraft, you'll see how complicated the routing is. It must have been a real challenge to move from basically a slab of foam through to some complex thermoforming. How did you cope with that challenge?
Well, there was a lot of complexities to it, that's for sure. But what we do is we take that final product, we envision it, and then we deconstruct it down into buildable components. And we know we start with a simple slab of material, but we develop different mechanical processes and molding and bonding and machining, and we're able to take that slab and quite literally anything we could imagine, we could create that part and then finally mold it into that final shape, and it's a beautiful thing.
Well, Bruce, everyone at Zotefoams extends their congratulations to you and the entire team at Technifab. We hope we get to see you in person sometime soon to celebrate one of these evenings. But for now, it remains to say many congratulations and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you.
Our next category is our best energy saving application. And this is a great award that really recognises companies that have made a significant improvement on the environmental performance of the products that they're assisting, or they've brought together energy efficiency that is going to help us in terms of some of the sustainability objectives that our customers have. There's some fantastic work there, so let's take a quick look at a reel that will give you an idea in terms of who some of the shortlisted companies are. Fantastic. Now, before we get to the winner, there's one special mention I'd like to have for you, which is SCC, Swiss Shielding Corporation, through their lightweight insulation for trains. If you think about the challenge there, keeping yourself warm whilst whizzing through the countryside is incredibly important. And one of the attributes that has come across well through the MP15FR product that they use from Zotefoams is its ability to remain hydrophobic and to not absorb water through time, so you don't get that increase in weight. Now, let's get to the winner, shall we? Charlotte, can you help me with that? Thank you very much, Charlotte. Okay. Again, it's my pleasure to announce that the winner of the Centenary Zotefoams Awards for the best energy saving application is FlexTech for insulation on its electric buses. Fantastic. FlexTech, again, has really looked at understanding the whole life energy profile of installing the right high-performance materials and the thermo-modelling that allows as much of the energy coming from electric buses to be used for propulsion rather than heating the occupants. And again, we've got a fantastic opportunity to just have a quick word with our winners now. Okay, great. We're joined by Eddie Pent from FlexTech. Eddie, huge congratulations from everyone at Zotefoams. You've won the best energy saving category. Would you like to just give us a few words in your own language from FlexTech? And I'm going to introduce Chloe Wang from the AZOTE Asia team, who's going to translate for us. Eddie, over to you.
好，非常感谢艾迪这次的加入。首先，我们要恭喜你，你获得了我们 Zotefoams 最佳节约能源奖。对，然后艾迪是来自这个 FlexTech 的。现在我们有请艾迪为我们来演讲你的获奖感言，谢谢。
好的，首先我们能够得到这个奖项，也是非常的高兴和荣幸的。
Chloe, give us a quick heads up on that.
Yeah, sure. Adi just said, first of all, they're really honored to receive this reward from Zotefoams.
然后呢，我们要感谢佐德丰为我们提供了这么好的产品，也感谢你们在这个项目中间我们的负责人这个 Hans 做出的努力和工作，做出的工作，然后我们能够找到合适于新能源产业 新能源汽车的这个应用。
Okay, yeah. So, first of all, thank you for Zotefoams provided such a best application for us. And in this whole project, we especially want to thank you to Hans. Hans is one of my colleagues from our team from Zotefoam. He has given the biggest support to Felitech, and so this is the best product for EV cars.
Great.
希望我们在以后的这个接触中间，我们能够找到更多的这个使用的机会，然后我们也会去找到一些新的应用。
We hope we can find more opportunities to use Zotefoam applications and new products to suit the application.
再次感谢你们，谢谢。
Eddie, on behalf of everyone at Zotefoams, thank you so much for those words, and congratulations to you and your team. And Chloe, thank you so much for translating. Have a great end to your evening.
Thank you very much. 谢谢 Eddie.
Our next category is the longest running application. We can take a look at the durability of Zotefoams products and those that have stood the test of time over many decades. And you're going to see some fantastic entries that have really demonstrated their abilities there. So that's a demonstration of some amazing products that have stood the test of time and been around for a long, long time. And before we get to the winner, I want to mention one really important runner-up, which is Sojimi for its window profiles. In the construction industry, the challenge of separating a window from the elements in terms of temperature, water, and making sure that you comply with all building regulations is a tough thing to do. And what really impressed the judges here was the complexity of their design and their ability to achieve against those criteria. Now, let's get to the winner, shall we? Charlotte, thank you. And the winner of the Zotefoams Centenary Awards for longest running application is Kuehl for their swimming floats. Now, if any of you have taught your kids to swim in the swimming pool, or you can remember learning to swim yourself, there's nothing worse than seeing a swimming float thrown away because the chlorine has degraded the quality of that product. And longevity is such a key attribute for this. And again, we've got a fantastic opportunity to talk to Marcus now from Kuehl. Great, Marcus, we have you on the line now. Marcus Kuehl from Kuehl Converters Limited. Many congratulations, you've won the longest running application here at Zotefoams Awards. Tell us a little bit about your swimming floats.
Good afternoon, Rob. Yes, and yeah, it's lovely to be here and see everyone. So yeah, we've been manufacturing this product now for nearly 40 years, believe it or not. So it is a specialist flotation device which serves less able kids and young children, young adults who need some flotation within sort of swimming pool areas to give them a degree of comfort and support and fun. So yeah, it's a thermoformed, it's a compression molded part we've been making for some time. We design and manufacture and still make to this day.
Fantastic. Tell me a little bit about the design challenges with that. It seems very simple, but was it difficult?
It has evolved over time, but the basic principles were to try and serve the user, the patients, the individuals, something simple, something effective, which gave them that padding, that support, and was easy to use. So it did evolve over time, but it's found a good principle of design which works very well.
Great. And I know that, you know, obviously this is the longest running application. What are the triggers normally that would require replacement for a swimming float? And how does Plastazote, for example, help elongate some of those time periods?
In truth, I think the pattern of reorders or requirements really stems from when they perish or come to the end of life, which is some time in theory, and in practice, it usually stems from a turnover of patients moving through the different centres of the different facilities, and they take the devices with them home or to other swimming pools or swimming areas, different homes or what have you. So that tends to be, it's the throughput of patients coming through some of these centres, and giving them the sort of individual flotation devices and having those to hand. So that's when we get the repeat requirements. So the materials actually do stand the test of time, as does the design. So yeah, the AZOTE works very well in many different sort of levels.
Fantastic. Well, we want to extend our congratulations to your entire team, Marcus, and thank you from us. And we hope that you can go off and celebrate this with the team. Thank you, Marcus Kuehl.
Thank you very much. Honoured to be part of it. Thank you.
Well, I guess everyone wants to be unique. And this next category looks at the most unique or unusual application of a Zotefoams product. And what's interesting about this is, to be unique, the challenges that are coming through often have to be unique. And we're seeing a great correlation of the way these companies are responding to very, very difficult challenges with a really creative, interesting, unique approach. Let's have a look at some of the entries, and then I'll let you know who has won. So before we get to the winner, let's have a quick word for a really interesting product that I want to give a special mention to, which is Sejimi's E-Form hair styling hat. Now, you might have figured out I'm not particularly target market for this, but when we talk about something that's really unusual and unique, this is a really creative way of looking at the challenge of bringing different colorings to different layers of hair. And What this hat does is meet all of the criteria that a salon might have in terms of easy to clean, easy to dry, non-staining, good softness against the skin, everything that we might require from that. So I want to give a big hand to them. And now, let's take a second to find out who our winner is. Charlotte, thank you. Great. Thank you. All right. So the winner for the Zotefoams Centenary Awards category of most unique and unusual application is Foam Engineers. Foam Engineers for their amazing foam motorbike. So if you take a second to think about NCAP tests and trying to look at, for example, some of the new radar testing, if you have a real motorcycle that's going to get damaged potentially in collisions, that's a pretty expensive route to go through. And I think this is an amazing piece of creativity to look at all of the resources that Zotefoam can bring to create a very realistic and of course completely reusable dummy motorcycle. Now, I'm very pleased that we've got the opportunity to have a chat with the team at Foam Engineers and to find out a little bit more about what drove that success. Great, we've got the connection. So on the left of your screen, we have Steve McWhirter, and on the right, we have Matt Wright from Foam Engineers. Congratulations, gents. You have won the Zotefoams award for most unique or unusual category, and I can understand why. It's an amazing foam motorcycle. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you very much. Well, the objective in creating the full-scale motorcycle is to develop the safety of vehicles in the safety testing process using a radar detection system on new vehicles. So we were given a task to create a life-sized motorcycle built around a frame, an aluminium frame, to enable the radar signature from the vehicle. So it's been built as a prop for that purpose.
Great, thank you so much, Matt. Steve, quick question for you. I know that very often the pieces that you work with are sort of buried in a customer's machine. It must have been great to have something you can really look at and be proud of for the team that have worked on it.
Yeah, as you say, our foam often ends up in someone else's box or embedded in a technical instrument somehow and somewhere. This was a celebration of the foam itself. The finished product was a realistic life-size motorbike, and we even put some nice colors in there for the lights and the mirrors, and we printed a speedo for them, and even put a registration number on it. So yeah, it was a celebration of the piece of foam. It was great to see for all of us.
Excellent, and I can see a shiny disc on a Suzuki Bandit wheel behind you, made entirely out of foam. Love it. And Matt, finally, just 8 weeks from start to finish. That's got to create some challenges. How did you cope with that?
Well, we had to hit the ground running, certainly. We were given the specification, albeit quite brief from our customer, but very much a free rein to come up with a design to create a full-scale, life-sized motorcycle created from a few varying grades of the Plastizote low-density range. So we were asked to build a 3D machining program ultimately used to cut the foam in various components on our CNC router. So that did actually consume quite a few of the first weeks before the machining could even take place. The machining on this scale, as you can appreciate, was really quite a lengthy process as we then moved through to the assembly of the various components as we built this motorcycle as it started to come to life.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, Steve, please pass on our congratulations to the entire Foam Engineers team. You're very deserving of the most unique category award, and we hope that you can go up and enjoy and celebrate. And we hope next time to be able to see you in person.
That'd be lovely. Thanks.
Thank you.
Our final category is pretty important because it looks at the Foam Innovator of the Year. And what the judges were looking for here is an individual who's made an outstanding contribution to the foam industry across all areas of its prevalence against high performance and solving solutions for customers. And we have some amazing people that have been considered for this. So before we get to the winner, let's have a quick look at some of those entries. I think you'll agree that there are some amazing individuals who've really given a huge contribution towards the outstanding performance of our industry as a whole over many years there. And I know that this category was particularly difficult for our judges to find out and separate who was going to be the ultimate winner here. So what they have decided to do is to divide this category into two. One will look at innovation from a technical perspective, and one of them will look at innovation from a business perspective. So let's have a look and see who's won. Charlotte, thank you very much. Great. Okay, for the Zotefoams Centenary Awards Foam Innovator of the Year from the perspective of technical innovation, I'm delighted to announce that our winner is Bruce Whitman from Technifab. Congratulations, Bruce. And in our second category, looking at the same award but from the perspective of business innovation, again, it gives me great pleasure to say that our winner is Tim Mulqueen from Ramfoam. Congratulations, Tim. Wonderful. Now, I know that we have an opportunity to have a quick chat with them. I think we're going to go to Bruce first. So, Bruce Whitman, we get an opportunity to come back to you with the second award of the evening, and we are delighted to inform you that you've been made Foam Innovator of the Year under the Technical Innovation section. Many congratulations, Bruce. I know Technifab is part of the team that's helped bring this, and if you'd just like to give us a quick reaction in terms of that award.
Well, as you can imagine, I'm very honored and privileged to accept this award. But as with most individual achievements, there's such a rich background of people and circumstance that allowed this innovation to occur and succeed. You know, we had a customer that was willing to accept a new paradigm of product. It's a hard thing to get a new product in an airplane or a spaceship, and we had willing customers. We had a leadership at Technifab who was courageously patient and letting us go through the years of development that it took to make the products work and to take advantage of that wonderful Zotefoam material. And of course, Zotefoam and Carl and his team providing the support and the energy that we needed to push this through, not just as a product, but all the administrative hurdles and tests and qualifications to get those parts on airplanes and spaceships. And I just want to thank all those people for everyone's contribution to this award. Thank you.
Bruce, thanks so much. That's a great insight into an amazing career of making aircraft lighter and safer. And I know it's 2005 since your first PVDF piece that you guys made. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey and where you see the future of the industry moving from here?
Well, we started in 2005 with very simple shapes and insulation. We started with sheets and tubes. But then as the engineers found out the amazing thermal forming capability of the foam, we were able to make complex shapes, complex insulation, and then it just evolved into seals and ducting and even structural components. So it's been an amazing journey, and it's been more and more complex parts. I think the future's in space. I talked to a engineer in a space capsule one day, and he says, I love this stuff. It's so good I could fill the whole capsule up with. because of the flammability nature of this foam. So it's a great product. 100 miles above us right now, there are flex hoses and other PVDF foam shapes circling the globe. And we all know that's the wave of the future is spacecraft and space capsules, and that's where we need to be.
Well, thank you, Bruce, and what an exciting time to be alive. So I know, certainly on behalf of everyone at Zotefoams, and I'm almost certain that everyone at Technifab would share our sentiment to wish you many congratulations on this award. And here's to the next 17 years of development, high above us and around us. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you so much.
Tim, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, we're delighted that you could join us. This is Tim Mulqueen from Ram Foam, and we want to congratulate you here at Zotefoams for winning Business Innovator of the Year. And just tell us a little bit about the journey that's brought you that, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the pandemic, whilst there was a big downturn in many industries, I decided to look at what we could do with regard to PPE. And we managed to get it down to a two-piece visor using Zotefoams LD33 Plus AZOTE. And we quickly put together a product design. We had it specified using British materials, and we were tasked with the issue of we needed to bring together our competition, which, you know, of old competitions working together. And it was refreshing that we contacted several of our competitors that are all Zotefoams distributors, and they all stood up to the challenge, and we proved with teamwork that we could deliver in excess of 3.5 million visors per week to our frontline heroes within the NHS. And a big driving factor for me was that potentially each one of these visors could have saved a life with regard to transmission of the virus. And having potentially only saved one life, it was all well worth it. And without Zotefoams, it wouldn't have been possible. How they stood up to the mark with David Sterling and Chris Endres and all of the people behind the scenes. We helped protect our nation together.
Fantastic. It's a great story, Tim. Thank you. And you mentioned quickly there, I don't think people understand quite how much COVID has compressed some of those timelines. What do you mean by quickly, and how difficult was that?
So, I mean, within believe it or not, 5 weeks, we came up with a design. We had it patented, trademark protected. David Sterling at Zotefoams. We had several meetings with government, and Zotefoams quickly ramped up production, you know, producing tens of thousands of blocks of material per week. And normally these things, you know, could take 12 months, but we went from 20,000 in week 1 to producing in excess of 2 million in week 2 to 4 in week 4.
Wow, that's amazing. And then just very quickly to finish, I know PPE is not created equal, and some works less well. What was it specifically about this product that the NHS said worked well for them?
So the uniqueness of the material, obviously, the Plus AZOTE, the chemically inertness, the comfortability of our design around the head, the recyclability, the reusability, as well as the film, the optical clarity, and our heroes on that front line deserve something that was comfortable. And at the time, they were using items that potentially weren't fit for purpose, and we created with British materials something that was, you know, more than fit for purpose, and brings a smile to everybody's face.
Wonderful. Well, it's a story of great participation from some great people, but Tim Mulqueen, you brought it all together, and we salute you and thank you for winning Business Innovator of the Year from the Zotefoams Awards. Thank you.
No, and thank you to all the team that worked with us throughout the whole of the UK.
Wonderful. Well, that brings us to a close of the Zotefoams Centenary Awards. I have thoroughly enjoyed seeing the entries, the winners, and reveling in the quality of some of the contributions that we're making towards high performance materials and benefiting society. It's such a shame we have to do this virtually. As I said, hopefully next time we'll be able to do it in person, but let me reassure you that the awards that you see behind me are going to find their way very rapidly towards those who have won them. David mentioned at the beginning that he was really impressed with the longevity of some of the people and the businesses that are operating in this environment, and I want to mention that in the context of three who I know are extremely long-serving. One is Kuehl, 50 years, Sojimi, 70 years, and Norseman, 100 years. So many congratulations to them for their contribution to this business over the years. And I think David has a point. The reason that people and businesses are not making a quick buck and getting out is that the challenges that the society are continually sending to us are ever evolving, and particularly currently. When I look at the biggest challenge that I guess we're facing, which is sustainability and the protection of our planet, some of the attributes of the products that we create are really coming to the fore. Things are lighter, they are cleaner, they are stronger, more durable, they're easier to dry and low thermoconductivity, and they're thinner. These open up boundaries for engineers to really bring better solutions that meet all of their customers' criteria. And it gives me hope, I think, that with a combination of new technology and behaviour, we really can make a difference. And when I think about the development that we've seen over 100 years at Zotefoam, you've got a real hockey stick happening, because the last 10 years of Zotefoam's development have accelerated, and the last 2 years have probably even steepened that curve because of COVID. So we see that very strongly in the entries that we've reviewed today, and I know I speak on behalf of everyone at Zotefoams when I say we salute you, we thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in person when we can. And that really just leaves it for me to say good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are, and we thank you.